my name is Brenda Fleming, and today I'm here with two very special guests, Jen and Jarrett McDonald. They are currently forming a very interesting app called Famine to Feast. Welcome, how are you doing today?
Hi,
Good,
how are you?
thanks for having us.
Yeah. So what is Famine to Feast? Just a general idea.
Famine to Feast is a not-for-profit that we just started. We are not-for-profit, but we're not 501c3 just yet, but our paperwork is in. But we are basically a facilitator for getting food from people to food shelters. And we've developed this app in order to help facilitate the pickup and delivery.
Wow, that's a great idea. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, it started a couple of years ago when we went on vacation. And we would rent a house wherever we would go on vacation. And when we get there, you have to purchase everything for this house, right? I mean, you've got to buy Kleenex, you've got to buy everything. Yeah, whatever. You got to buy, if you had to fly there, you maybe had to buy sunscreen, meat for the refrigerator, any type of food, breads, you name it. And at the end of the trip, you're left with all these items that, as much as you wanted to be thrifty with your spending, you're left with a lot of stuff, that you don't want to throw away, but you're getting close to the time you've got to get back to the airport, so you're going to toss this food. And so we thought, that's terrible. We need to try and find a way that we can make sure that doesn't happen anymore. And that's where Famine to Feast came up with. So we came up with, in the future, of course, Los Alamos is our test bed, right? But in the future, we're hoping, that this is not necessarily designed for people on vacation, but it could be for people on vacation if they're staying in a house and they push the button. Somebody comes and picks up whatever they have left over. Could be sunscreen, could be leftover shampoo, could be meat, depending on the food bank, who knows?
Could be someone that's moving.
Yeah.
You're moving out of an apartment, you have all this extra canned goods and stuff that you may not need to take with you or don't have the ability to. So just thought it'd be a great way to help get that food to where it should be.
Cool, so you download the app and you press a button, and how would it work? What's like a scenario? Like someone would come to your door, can you leave everything on the doorstep if you gotta go catch a plane, or?
So yeah, absolutely, good question. So you basically just click the app, then it comes up, a little screen comes up and it says, click to donate here. So you click there, the GPS, it finds your GPS location, your address, and it automatically inputs that. And then you type in what you might have. Maybe it's apples, maybe it's potatoes, whatever you've got.
Or special instructions, I'm leaving this on my porch.
Yeah, it's got to be picked up in the next hour or whatever the case may be. And then you hit submit, and then it basically comes up as an email type of attachment, and you can just go there and review that everything you put in there was correct.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's correct, you hit submit, and then that comes to us, and we facilitate with the drivers and get it to the food bank.
And of course verify your address, because although the GPS is there, it may not be entirely accurate. It may pick up your neighbor's house, so you have to
It's as accurate as it can be on your smartphone.
So so you mentioned when somebody moves and they have extra shampoo, is it just limited to food, or can you just kind of any needed good like hygiene products or? Each
food bank or area that will accept food, like ours here in Los Alamos, is going to have very specific requirements. I mean, sometimes they might be able to accept fresh food, sometimes they may not be able to. It really depends, and so we'll also have that on our website, for example, what can be donated.
And what can't.
Right.
No one's going to accept your, half-eaten jar of peanut butter,
My 2 and 3-year-old one. Okay, so let's see. So you said the test bed's going to be here in Los Alamos. So is there actual hunger in Los Alamos? What is the closest food bank here? Like, where would it be?
LA Cares is the closest food bank here.
And they serve once a month at the Bethlehem Lutheran Church.
Right. And I was able to go see when they did these food deliveries, and I knew that we had, according to the Hunger Summit that recently came into Albuquerque, they were saying that Los Alamos had an 11% food insecurity problem, which means that doesn't necessarily mean people don't have any food to eat, but just maybe not enough. So anyways, I was able to go see the distribution, and I was floored at the amount of food that LA Kids gives away each month. It's unbelievable. I would love to be able to get some weights. I mean, because I'm guessing that there's thousands of pounds of food that is distributed once a month by these fantastic volunteers.
And there's no leftover, huh?
No.
There's still people waiting for food. Okay, I saw a presentation you did, and one of the quotes it said was, "Hunger is not caused by lack of food, but rather the continued prevalence of poverty, especially in New Mexico." So is that kind of one of your goals, is to kind of just equal it out? I'm sure you're probably not, you want to expand. Can you elaborate on that?
You know, our goal isn't to, you know, provide, you know, everyday nourishment for people. It's to, you know, help get that supplemental food that food banks provide, you know, and we wanted to, we're not trying to change, you know, what food banks and places like that do. We're trying to just help get more items to them. We're trying to get, you know, neighbors helping neighbors, you know, and when you have extra stuff, I mean, we're all guilty of it. We throw stuff away, and it doesn't need to be like that, you know, and we do have, you know, a lot of food, you know, well, a lot of poverty in New Mexico in general, where, you know, people don't, you know, get breakfast, or, you know, parents may be skipping meals so they can feed their children, you know, we want to be able to help with that, so.
Make it easy for people.
Yeah.
An app can't be any easier than that.
Well, it's probably important to note that too, that, you know, we had some neighbors that, you know, donated to us, you know, to help us get this app and everything else going, and they said, "Jared, again, we really love your idea about this app. That is so cool. What the hell is an app?" So we said, "Don't worry, we'll have it on the webpage as well." And so we'll be able to do the same thing on the webpage. Okay.
They didn't ask you what a webpage was.
No.
I know that they had Facebook, so they can get that far along.
Okay, so how do you go about building an app? What was the process? Because I know not everyone, it's kind of just this big mystery world to a lot of people. How you
And it
make
was
that
to us
happen.
too. Yeah, we didn't know where to go. But fortunately, you know, we found some really smart, really great people here in town. We contacted Maddie Mark Steiner, who help facilitate that, and she put us in touch with a app developer by the name of Michael Ham, who has taken this on and done a wonderful job. And we're extremely grateful for his time, as the so volunteered for this time too, and didn't charge us, which was huge, especially when a non-profit's trying to get going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it was unique for us because we basically just gave him our concept and our idea and what we were imagining for it, and it just, like, the next day was just like appeared. It was, you know, I mean, he took our idea to a really great level, and, you know, it just made it so easy for people to donate, I think.
He did have us do some work. He did. He made us go buy a whiteboard and that type of thing.
Oh, a whiteboard, yes.
Yeah. You know, then in concert too, a friend of ours, Dave Van Netten, has been working on the webpage, and Michael Ham and he have both been, you know, talking and doing stuff behind the scenes, stuff that we don't really understand. So my thanks to all three of those people.
That's pretty awesome. So it wasn't too, how long have you been working on this project?
Gosh,
We started really focusing on the idea and how to make it work more than, you know, just, okay, we'll put something in the paper of, you know, where people can donate. We started really focusing on it probably about 8 months ago.
yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, really trying to, just doing, well, between just us brainstorming on how do we make this happen, and, you know, what could this be and how could we make this work? Because, you know, you start with an idea and you're like, whoa, man, there's, you know, a lot more involved in this, just, you know, having an app, you know, people have to go get it, you know, we have to be able to deliver it, you know, and when we brought in, I think Mandy, it was probably about 5 months ago.
Something like that.
Something like that, and that's when they really started, you know, taking shape.
Because we thought we could get the food, that wouldn't be a problem. We could get people to donate their food, you know, whether it's canned goods, whatever the case may be, but how do we get it from their house to the food banks? And So each community, if we're successful in Los Alamos, we're able to branch out to other communities. That is going to be a challenge in each community, and each place might be a little bit different. But the app itself is complete, and it's been gone all the way through Apple, and Apple's approved it. Our developer has not released it yet, but we'll probably release it very soon. We just don't want people to start using it until we have a finite detail of times and when people can and cannot donate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And to solve our pickup problem here in Los Alamos Volunteer Association, or LAVA as some people know them, they've volunteered to use, well, their resources to help us pick up food and get it distributed where it needs to go, so.
Do you think you might expand the app to maybe, like, if somebody has time but they don't have food, they can volunteer to be a driver like that week or something, or
Absolutely. There's lots of options.
lots of ideas?
Yeah, I think every time that we do this, each time that we're taking food, I think it's going to be an experiment, and we'll just constantly want to do improvement, right? Do some lessons learned, and see what we can do better next time.
Wow, so have you ever heard of this being done like in a bigger city where there's,
So we researched that a little bit, and what we found was, like in Albuquerque, there is something similar to this called empty plates.
Community plates.
Community plates, and which is almost designed more for businesses donating, restaurants donating.
I think
to
they
shelters.
focus on like grocery stores and stuff like that, but it's a very similar concept that, you sign up, your time and you go and pick up this, leftover food and then bring it to shelters and food banks.
Yeah, and then there's a couple of other places that we found on the web that were similar. One was for profit, and another one was very different. But with our app, yeah, it gets, it's designed to get food from people's homes, but it also is for businesses, it's also for restaurants. It can be for anybody that has food, or any organization that has food, so it's not limited to, just homeowners, if you will,
Well, unused food.
at this time. Yeah.
okay. Let's see, so you said they're working on releasing the app. Do you know when the launch date is gonna be currently?
No, it'll be very soon. I mean, I think Mike Ham could probably, if I called him now, it could probably happen in 5 minutes.
I think it's really gonna depend on when we're ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we still have a few more things to iron out. Yeah.
Okay, and so what can people do now? Do you have a website, or how can people find out more about
We do.
this great service?
Let's see, we have a couple of web pages. We have famineToFeastNow.com and famineToFeast.org. And then we're also on Facebook it's just Famine to Feast, I believe.
Yes, it is.
And we have a lot of good information there. We are still trying to fundraise a little bit. We're trying to get some more money now. And what we want to use this money for is, we would like to try and send everybody in the mail a refrigerator magnet. We thought that'd be really clever,
It's a great reminder.
That's a great reminder. You put it on your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Even though you may not be able to give perishables at this time, we may find a way to make it happen. But you can't miss it if it's on your fridge, I think.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's a great way. Well, great, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything we missed?
Well, the only other thing I'd like to bring up is why I think this will be successful is I think it really accomplishes two different problems that people have. Now, depending on your generation, of course, and I'll explain. Number one, the neat thing about this app is, depending on what generation you are, people have this addiction to technology. I mean, we're always on our iPhones, we're always on our iPads. And so I think what the other part of this, the other side of this coin, or maybe the whole piece of pie, maybe is a better way to put it, is that we have not only this addiction to technology, but we have this need for instant gratification. So this will solve that as well. So I mean, I know that when I want something out of my house, whether it's canned goods or whatever, I want it now because I got to move on to my next project. I don't have time to waste. So I think this will be exciting to see how it works out. I hope that we are successful with the amount of food that LA Cares would like. So I hope everybody gets excited and gets ready to donate food. We also on the app, just FYI, when the app does come out, you have the opportunity to donate to us directly if you like.
Okay, to help with the funding and
Yes, advertising.
and development.
marketing.
And, well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know where I'll be donating all my leftover food, especially after the holidays. But that concludes our interview with Jen and Jarrett McDonald, and hope you enjoyed hearing about Famine to Feast. Your website again was
FamineToFeastNow.com and FamineToFeastNow.org.
Okay, so you can go there for more information or to eventually donate and participate. And thank you for watching the LA Times.